Okay, just double checking here. This is what your consultant should have looked like. I change the signature here, e-paycheck, and of course here instead of the strings, you should be using the enumerator. And that's really it. Now, I mentioned this before, or maybe I didn't. Now, sometimes this looks a little clumsy, meaning that there's too much verbiage here. So what I like to do here is, if we copy this line right here, I'll do import static, and I'll say here period asterisk. Now, what is that going to allow me to do? If I go down here, now I don't need to say e-paycheck. And I think that looks a little cleaner. So again, this is up to you how to look and feel, how you like to see it, but I think this is much cleaner to look at. And with that, that's it. Now, let's go to our drivers, because now our drivers are complaining. Let's go to the driver right here. Oh, this is complaining now because, of course, we're not using strings anymore. We are using enumerators, and that enumerator is called e-paycheck. What I want to do is just grab this so I don't have to. I'll paste that, paste that, paste that. Let's import it. Let's save it. Let's run this. Proceed anyway. Everything looks good. Let's go here to enumerator and see what's wrong here. Oh, okay, I want to use the e-paycheck that comes from the template jar. You might not have this, but this was a way for me to test this. And again, if you don't have this particular class, it's called driver enumerator. Don't worry about it, but I like running this code so I can see what all the possible enumerators are. Okay, and these are all the possible choices here. So I like doing that. Let's go back to the driver person here, and let's run this Java application. Okay, so this looks like it's working good. And the only thing I want to change about this is, let me get rid of this cookie thing. I'll double click here. I want to show all the possible values here. Even though those values are not applicable to everything, I still want to show them. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. Okay, I want you to go to your person's class and person class. I'm going to create a method here, and I'll call it, I'll say here public map e-paycheck float, and I'm going to say here init for initialization. Okay, and what I wanted to do is basically what I have this class doing right here. I want to, let me grab this code. I just don't want to type it over. And what I want this to do is to fill in this class, fill it in. And I'll show you what I mean in a second. Let's run that. While I'm iterating through this, I'm going to add it to the map. This will add each enumerator because it's a loop through all the enumerators. And I'll give everything a default value of 0. And this will return now map. Let's save it. Now what this is going to allow me to do is, notice here that I see only 4 attributes. I want to see all 6, even though if it doesn't apply. Sometimes it just might be 0, which is okay. That's fine. So what I'm going to do here is, instead of initialize it by saying new here, I'm going to call init. Ooh, that's int. When I execute init, it will take this code, iterate through the entire loop, and it will populate this with all these possible values, but it will initialize it to 0. But after that in my code, I will add the entries that I need. let's run this to see if it works. Oops, sorry. Let's save it. Let's go to the driver person and let's test that version. Okay, so notice here I have all the possible values: hourly wage, overtime pay, hours worked, and so on. We're also going to apply that to the following classes like union employee and consultant, but I'll do that in the next video. With that, good luck and good coding.